I'm the Alchemist Astrologer, and this is your date to remember tarot reading for Cancer Sun, Cancer Rising, and Cancer Moon. So I've already laid out the cards for you for the three most significant dates for you this month. The first one is August the 9th. And this is a day where you're going to be really thinking about something. Your perspective about a situation is going to be important. Maybe there's a need to change your perspective about your relationship. You're taking stock. You're weighing your options. Perhaps you're even connecting with someone, getting advice, giving advice. In some cases, you know, as you look at something, maybe you feel like you're not being taken seriously, or maybe your mind is sending you messages and you know, you're getting carried away with your view of things. But in some cases, some truths are becoming very obvious, not necessarily positive truths. You're seeing something as time goes on. In other cases, maybe when you give this review, there's a tendency to want to look at the more positive aspects of a person or a situation. You have, I make room for romance. So, you know, perhaps it's your perspective on relationships. Maybe you're thinking of how you can bring more love in your life, maybe a romantic gesture, what you expect out of romance, or what you're actually getting. So thinking about, contemplating something, taking stock, taking in information to form your perspective, and whether you allow for intimate connection is going to be important on the 9th. Now, on the 14th, there's some kind of grief. And, you know, this is maybe a very powerful grief. It could be grief connected to a child, could be grief related to romance, could be grief related to your creativity, but there's some kind of unhappiness because of a loss, disappointment, or some kind of rejection. And this may even be due to a betrayal that you've suffered, or there's a separation. So you're having to draw on your strength, perhaps, in order to deal with grief or offer your strength. This is about self-esteem, addressing issues where you've been grieving, and perhaps they're rooted in self-value or self-worth, or maybe fearlessly taking action to address depression, or to support someone who's grieving, or to, you know, act on your own grievances. There's a need for balance and grounding here, the strength of something connected to grief. And you have, I'm not afraid of the heat. So this is a day where you're likely to go there. Things may get rather intense, and you're up for that challenge, you know, dealing with something connected to your grief. So you may be dealing with some dark moods or experiences or subjects on the 14th. Those are vital, perhaps, for some form of healing. On the 17th, again, there's a broken heart here. You're disappointed about something. And again, maybe the breakup of a relationship, some kind of loss or betrayal, where perhaps maybe you weren't really thinking clearly, or somebody was in la land, or you're just trying to sort out some issues. And this may, again, maybe it ties to your creativity, believing in your dreams or a vision that you have, or creating a reality, or needing to sort out what is really truth and what's fiction, because maybe your perspective is distorted about, and it's causing you grief because you can't see things clearly, and the end result is a broken heart. Or maybe you need to change your perspective about how someone's heart is broken and their grief, and how to deal with it, and how to be supportive, or what you expect from others. But you're doing some thinking about something. You're trying to sort out issues. And the message is that complications allow me the opportunity to get creative. And so there's something where maybe you haven't been able to find your way. It seems like you keep hitting a wall, or But this is a challenge for you. It means you're going to have to try something unorthodox, something maybe that you haven't done before. You're going to have to think outside of the box. And perhaps you need a time out in order to sort out these things. Now, the underlying energy is one of control. So control issues, somebody being very domineering or aggressive behavior or dealing with the repercussions of that, somebody being excessively demanding, or where someone feels like they're doing more, they're taking more of the responsibility for the relationship. Somebody may have some huge expectations. Maybe they're seeking the royal treatment, but you have to remember, heavy is the head that wears the crown. So, somebody may be trying to gain control over their feelings, gain some self-mastery. There is some revelations that are coming up, and maybe manipulations. This could be the subliminal message, the effort for control by playing mind games or saying just enough or not saying what needs to be said or saying it in a particular way. Could also be you're gaining control over the messages that you receive or want to put out there. Maybe you're in touch with spirit, or you've gained greater self-awareness. So there's definitely a need for contemplation and some inner listening with regard to situations. So you are changing your perspective or looking closely at things, the strength of support, the strength of grief, the impact that it has on a broken heart, and trying to sort through issues of grief, depression, hurt, loss, and whether part of that is feeling like you're being taken seriously, or maybe whether you're taking yourself seriously enough, whether you're not the one sending the negative messages, and so there's a perception that you need to work through. Now, your advice is, let your friends help you. Ask for and accept support from others. So if you're grieving or you're brokenhearted, this is a time for you to reach out to the people that are around you, to confide in those people, to lean on them. But you also have think twice. So there's a lot of thinking going on here. You have to make sure that your perspective is not distorted. And it's going to be important for you to ask for and accept support from others. But even after that, you need to mull over whatever advice you receive, because ultimately you're responsible for you. So you have to get to the heart of what you feel, what you think, your own truth. So you need to think twice about situations. Now, maybe you need to think twice, as far as being more helpful, more supportive. Maybe it's time for you to take a second look at, what others need and what's expected of you. You have as your muse energy, Bridget, creative spark. So let's see what Bridget has to say for you. Inspiration and imagination are yours to play with right now. You effortlessly connect to your inner creative spark and make meaningful and beautiful experiences for yourself and others. Take advantage of this fruitful time. When you are so in tune, it's like taking a magical trip to the land of the fairy, where all that glitters really is gold, and your life seems like a grand artistic gesture. The fiery Celtic goddess of creativity calls you to play in the artistry of your life, your work, and your loves. Bridget is whispering her sparkling music deep in your soul. Are you listening? Maybe, you might want to collaborate with others. If you've been having some difficulty, some creative difficulties, relationship difficulties, it may be time to get creative, to consider your options. Go over something more than once. You have this opportunity, again, to get creative. See those challenges as opportunities that may take you in another realm, help you up-level your game, whether that's in your relationships or whether that's in your creative efforts or, some endeavor that's important to you. All right, Cancer, I hope you enjoy this reading. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notify bell button, and please leave me some comments.